The other day, I actually laughed about this a little bit. I was just like, the headline kind of made me laugh, especially when you look at the person. That's what I was just like, I started to laugh. So over here in the UK, a woman by the name of Priti Patel, there was an inquiry. So MP came out and was just like, listen, man, like, told the prime minister of this country in the UK, Boris Johnson, you need to investigate Priti Patel for bullying in, her sector. Priti Patel is the I can't actually remember what job she has. Basically, for me, I talked to Shahul a lot about this, funny enough. And he's just like disappointed in her for the fact that she's Indian, he's Indian. And like, he's just like, how dare her be the way she is? But the thing that got me more than anything else is bullying. And Boris Johnson backed her, and she made an apology, bullshit apology, but she made an apology that was quite on the nose. And it kind of begged the question that I'm gonna ask you, which is, the bullying that she's said to be doing is shouting at staff members and belittling. Now, this stuff goes on in school. Stuff goes on workplaces. This stuff goes on all over the country, all over the world. I'm almost 100% sure we should be holding. Say again, sorry?
Bullying or shouting at people.
Well, it said that was a part of the bullying. Like,
but
that's a part of the bullying.
When you say it goes on all over the world, you're talking about bullying or shouting at people.
Well, bullying to some degree, depending on how you look at shouting at people and how you look at treating people. Obviously, bullying is more than just shouting. It's, treating people a certain way and all that type of stuff. But in this particular situation, I was looking at, like, the government have a code of conduct, right, for all the MPs and things of that nature, even the prime minister. And the man who asked for it to be investigated, his name is Sir Philip Rutnam. And he's now resigned because the prime minister refused to look into the situation. Obviously, there must be something there for this man to say, I'm going to quit my fucking job. I'm not staying here if she's going to continue to do what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Level are we holding this government to now? Like, in terms of, like, because obviously bullying, people are going to look at this when I say this and say bullying is a big thing. It is. But bullying is such a small microcosm of the shit that they probably get onto and the things they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you have somebody with a level of power who's walking around and treating other MPs like shit and staff members and things of this nature, and then the prime minister comes out and says, nah, look, man, she's a good person, we'll figure this out. At what level do we hold this government to, or any government now at this point? Like, it seems as though, like, now everybody's just out here just whatever. Like, nobody's living for the democracy anymore.
No one cares anymore. It's just no one's been held accountable anymore. Or I don't know if they were held accountable at the start, to be honest. But
yeah,
with this one, I'm not surprised because everything that this woman does, right, is just seemingly, from my side, evil.
Do you have, like, some evil things that she's done? We could just, like, quickly run through them. You have some things you remember that you were like, what the hell is wrong with this woman?
Just anything that she says, anything. It could be about poor people. It could be about immigrants. Like, her parents were immigrants, but yet she doesn't. It's just like everything is evil. Like, I'm just not surprised.
It's like the black people at the Trump rallies. It's like when I see black people at Trump rallies, I'm like, I get like deer in the headlights.
Make America great again. What? Slavery.
I'm saying exactly.
Segregation.
I like when he says certain things, I look at him and say, he's talking about you. And it pertains to, like, the Priti Patel situation. The same way that you're acting and the people you're talking about yourself. The things you're doing are against the people that look like you, that talk like you, that have the same customs as you. And I'm going to say this, I don't care. When they get into the positions in government, do you think they are now whitewashed? Not brainwashed, whitewashed.
I think that she was like this from the beginning.
Right.
And that's my honest truth. I think she was like this. I don't think she was someone that, and you can, especially if you live in the UK or the US, right? You're going to pick up some level of culture from that country. And I know a lot of people would say, oh no, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. But even like look at like the clothes that we wear and all that sort of stuff, it's not traditional to who we are and like where we come from. Do you get what I mean? So you do pick up some norms. I know people will tell me they don't, you do, right? So that's fine, right? If you like fish and chips, that's completely fine, right? But her level of not understanding where she has come from is completely like just like it's
But that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think there's a level of, you know, not just where they come from, but where they were raised, who they were raised around? Because you said you think she's always been like this. So in that, then what I mean by like whitewash is like they get into the government or they get into that position and they become kind of like, they feel like they need to be who they're around. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to kind of to fit in, because it's like, okay, well, I'm already, in her case, I'm already Indian. So I'm already starting at like a level that is not the same as, you know, these white women, white women and men.
That's what she said though. But it's just, it's just, you could say you're Indian or black or whatever. Yeah. Right. But if you're not about it, then it's just pointless. It's just, you're just saying you're Indian, but you don't care.
You're not putting on for the team. Yeah. I wonder, I sat back yesterday and, you know, with the whole bulletin of bullying and things of that nature and things that are going on currently in this country and things in that nature, I feel like, you know, well, not we, because we don't have the power to do this, but shouldn't the government should be weeding out these people at this point in time, right? There should be and I said this the other day, like I was just like, it's the highest, let's say, office in the world, in the land, right? If you aren't living to the standard of that, right, then you shouldn't be in it. And it should be that cut and dry. It shouldn't be like it shouldn't be like I said in the previous episode, the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, where that guy who's a senator or congressman has tweeted out, this murderer for Congress. That's it, fired. You got to go. I don't even care if we're all racist and we all like live that way. We can't be seen to have you around us if this was going on. And what's so crazy about it is it's the blatant like disregard nowadays. Like, fuck it, we don't care anymore. Just be who you just do. Like before, even if they did think that way, they would weed out all the bullshit so that way they didn't bring any heat onto themselves. Nowadays, like, fuck it, bring the heat. We like the kitchen. Like,
well, yeah, there's that, but there's also the fact that I don't know what it is, but it's like there's like two levels of society nowadays. There's like Trump and like a Priti Patel, where they can like do whatever, say whatever. But then there's like the real society where like nowadays you can't quote unquote you can't say what you want. Do you get what I'm saying? And there's like so much like sensitivity in that sort of sense. But it's just weird because like you have these two different levels. You have like you can't say stuff, and rightly so, you can't say stuff that you probably could say like 20 years ago. But at the same time, these people can get away with stuff that you would think that would be sackable. Like just with an instant, but it's like
it's like they hold a high office, but they're not held to a high standard.
Their standards are low,
you know, and that's the thing. Like if I went on Twitter right now and was just like, oh, I hate gay people, or I hate this, like they would just remove my account. But then at the same time, it's like all these other people get away with it all the time. And it goes back to me saying about the Wiley thing, you know, he says one thing and then boom, you're gone. And then, you know, a period of time, there's this woman on Twitter who was just ripping into being racist and all sorts, and they didn't remove her until much later down the line. And there is a racist bias, but in Priti Patel's situation, you know, and even in, what's his name? What's the other guy did the Eat Out, Help Out thing? I keep forgetting his name.
Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, even him, like the other day I saw a video of him saying, oh yeah, we have like great equality in our country. I'm just like, in a great understanding and stuff. And I'm like, you don't live here. Clearly you don't live here. Like, and like you've entered this level of I'm untouchable because I got all these powerful white friends in this situation, so I ain't gonna do nothing to me. And it reminds me of something. I'll end on this. It reminds me of something that the great philosopher Hove said. He said, you know, you could be this, you could be that, you could be this, you could be that, but you're still a nigga at the end of the day. You know, and I think that I guess that day will come at some point for those people who realize very quickly, like, you're no longer, you were never there. They allowed you to be there.
Yeah,
you were never on that level. We just allowed you to live here.
Yeah, with these anyway, they're there predominantly because of, we know that, well, especially with Priti Patel, we know that she's incompetent. She's shown that time and time again. But the reason why she's there is to say, yeah, we've got a person of color in a higher position. That's the reason why she's there. It's got nothing to do with her level.
Yeah, it's affirmative action. It's the Rooney Rule.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to interview at least one person of color, and we got to interview one person with some melanin in their skin. Man, it's crazy to me that I'm telling you right now. And I'm going to mention this because actually my boy went through something like this not so long ago. Not to mention his name or anything like that, but his sister was an MP, and he got arrested for something, and she got dragged into it, and she had to resign based on what had taken place. And I look at this Priti Patel situation, and obviously if you have a code of conduct that's not being followed, then there's only one thing to do in that situation. But I think sometimes, as we've said numerous amounts of times, the scales are, not even sometimes, all the time, the scales are lopsided. And does that mean now that she's going to change or she's going to be different? I don't think so. No. I just feel like maybe they might tell her, hey, keep it down for a minute while this blows over, and then we'll bring you back into the fold.
And if she wasn't about sort of being a nice person, right? Then she would have been gone a long time ago. If she was about sort of getting equality for everyone, the government would be like, or this government at least,
nah, she got to bounce.
We'd be like, she got to go because she's making too much noise. Like, we need her to be speaking from the same hymn sheet.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the time by seeing a person of color or a person of ethnic background in a high position, because sometimes they're there to soften the blow. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times they're there to soften the blow. A lot of times, why don't you go talk to your people? That's what you're there for. Yeah. There's jokes that go around saying, oh, I keep a white boy around so if the police stop me, he can talk to the cops. It's the same thing in reverse. It's when something bad happens for your people, we need you here so you can go talk to your people. Priti Patel's obviously missed to give a shit about her people, let alone her culture. And they're probably already actively looking for somebody else who can talk to their people so they can be like, all right, cool, because she's just not the one. But I think the message, if anything, is don't be fooled by seeing a person of ethnic background in a prominent position, because they're there as a mouthpiece to calm the storm before people rise up against, the administration. And that's a lot of the time what we see in society. So do your Googles. But yeah, this is Bird Lines. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. Get at us on Instagram as well. Loads of content coming out. I think by the time you see this episode, probably be like 35 episodes, I think, by that point. So support. And any other podcasts or what have you who are talking about certain things or whatever you, and they listen to our stuff and they appreciate what we're doing content-wise, hit us up. Love to collab with everybody and create great content for people to watch and listen to. And I'm out.